Today I'm talking about how I created 3 different types of boundaries around my home for my Goldendoodle Sophie. And that includes an invisible boundary, which she sticks to. Hello, Joanna here. Welcome to my Goldendoodle diary. I make videos about Goldendoodle dogs. Subscribe if you'd like to follow along. Rules, boundaries and limitations. It's what world-famous dog behaviourist Cesar Millan has been teaching for decades. Before I got my dog, I watched lots of Cesar's programs. They gave me a great insight into how the dog mind ticks. One of those things is the need to create house rules and boundaries, which the dog understands. These rules and boundaries help keep the dog safe and prevent it from damaging things around the house. Just before Sophie arrived, I looked around my home and made some decisions about where the dog will be allowed to go and where the no-go zones are. Simon and I were in agreement about these. As they say, start as you mean to go on. Being quite strict and consistent was important, particularly in the beginning when we had an untrained live wire puppy who didn't know what was expected of her. As you'll see over time, some boundaries have changed now that Sophie's grown up. So let's take a look at the 3 different types of boundaries we set up in our household. At the very start, when we first got Sophie, she had access to only a small portion of the house. And beneath the stairs here is where we had a crate for her, which is where the white cabinet is now. We don't have that crate anymore. And that opened up into this puppy crate here, which was lined with a whole lot of newspapers. Whenever I couldn't supervise Sophie when out and about in the main house area, I'd always place her here. Tiny puppies, when left to their own devices, will assume that the whole house is their toilet and anything in it is like a chew toy. So we kept this set up here, this particular boundary, in the first few months after Sophie arrived. Initially, this baby gate here was meant to be temporary, but it's since become a permanent fixture. As a puppy, it kept Sophie away from the carpeted areas where toilet accidents could happen. It also prevented her from walking up and down stairs. And why is that significant? Well, the bones in puppies are not fully fused until they reach the age of 1, and awkward movements like climbing up and down stairs increase the risk of damage. Also, hip and elbow dysplasia can become an issue for Goldendoodles and other large breeds of dogs. So limiting Sophie from walking up and down the stairs was about us being extra careful about her bones and joints right from the start. Another reason for the baby gate is it helps keep Sophie away from the rooms upstairs. Simon and I prefer not to give Sophie access there day to day. When she was little, she had bad separation anxiety, and it was important to have this boundary. It wouldn't have helped to allow her close proximity to us all the time. Of course, she complained initially, but she soon got used to it. We ended up keeping this baby gate because now she's older, we do allow her upstairs with us sometimes. Like when we've been painting downstairs and we want to keep her away from the fumes, or when we have guests staying overnight, or when we want to give the other person a Sophie wake up, which is a much nicer way to be woken up than by an alarm clock. So because we can't stay consistent about whether or not she's allowed upstairs, we keep this physical boundary up. And the last area that I wanted to show you is the back room here. There used to be a baby gate for a while when we needed to limit Sophie's access to the back, where she'd chew on lots of things that she shouldn't be chewing on. As that tendency went away, as she matured, so did the baby gate. So that is now gone. If the camera's rolling, she's ready for her close-up. Sophie, you're actually in the way. Did you know that? Did you?
Sophie, come. You're in the way. You're in the way, look at that.
And this is the other area that I wanted to show you. So this is our kitchen. It's a big U shape, and there was never really any possibility of putting up a baby gate here. At the same time, it was really, really important that Sophie doesn't come inside this area. As you can see, there is a preparation bench over here and the stovetop here, so we're going back and forth quite a lot. When she was coming into the kitchen, it would be a trip hazard basically. We could step on her or trip over her. The other thing is that we have an oven way down low here, which we use quite often, and we can't have her inquisitive little nose like right up there or she'll get burnt. So how did we do this? How did we implement this invisible barrier? What would happen is quite consistently Simon and I would just not allow her into the kitchen. Whenever she did come into the kitchen, which was very, very often in those early days, we would just usher her back out. We'd just go and when we reached this invisible line, that's when she got her good girl praise, and this is where she's allowed to be near us. And here's Sophie right now actually demonstrating exactly that. I can't show you on the dog because she just doesn't come into the kitchen anymore. This is her usual spot whenever I'm in the kitchen and she wants to be nearby and she's anticipating some food. That is something that worked particularly well with us. I think that in terms of boundaries, I think Caesar Milan would be very proud. Now over to you. In the comments below, let me know what kind of boundaries you've used or intend to use around your home for your dog. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Thank you for spending time with us. See you again shortly. You right there, Sophie? She's just having the world's longest drink all of a sudden. Thank you, right in the middle of filming. You good? Okay.